Hi, everyone, and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Kat.
And today we're going to be talking about snakes, or as Kat let me know about just before we started, they have another name.
Yes, apparently some people on the internet call them danger noodles because it's like kind of a cute nickname. Because they're dangerous, they look like noodles. So they're danger noodles, yeah.
Yeah, of course not all are dangerous. We'll meet a few snakes later on, but they're definitely something you need to look out for when you go hiking. Do you often go hiking and ever seen a snake while hiking?
I do go hiking sometimes. I haven't seen a snake yet, but I imagine that I probably will one day. But there are definitely snakes that I saw when I back in my hometown.
Oh, okay. You get
Yeah, how
a few
about you?
more. I've seen one snake, a small one. I think it was young and it was away off the path. This was between Tianmu and Shinbeito. There's a few trails that go across the sort of hills, mountains, whatever there. So we just stayed away. The guy I was hiking with, absolutely terrified of snakes. So yeah, he didn't want to go anywhere near it. He took us well away from that place and hasn't suggested we go back, but there you go.
What color was the snake, or were you able to tell what kind it was?
No idea what kind. It was kind of like pale brown, bit of orange, something like that. But we will learn how to identify a few snakes in day 2 of the article. Day 1, however, is going to be more about what you should and shouldn't do. So let's read through that and learn some tips.
Okay, let's find out about our danger noodles.
Reading.
Taiwan's top snakes. Taiwan has some great places for hiking. However, if you spend a lot of time in nature, keep an eye out for snakes. Snakes in Taiwan are many and varied, but there are some common do's and don'ts to remember. Do pay attention to your surroundings. Snakes hide in long grass and under piles of wood. Use a walking stick to check places like these before you step there. Also, wear the right clothes. A good pair of boots and tough hiking pants will protect you if you surprise a snake and it tries to bite. Don't get too close. If you encounter a snake, keep your distance. They can sense vibrations through the ground and will often move away when they feel someone coming. You can encourage them to do this by stamping your feet. If the snake doesn't move, stay clear as you move around it. Most of all, be careful.
So we start the article with kind of what we were talking about in our introduction. It says, Taiwan has some great places for hiking. Absolutely true. Up in the north, the east coast, down in the center in Nantou County, wherever you go, there are some great walks.
Yeah, of course. But of course, those walks are all out in nature. And the article says, however, if you spend a lot of time in nature, keep an eye out for snakes. So we have our first phrase here, which is keep an eye out. This does not mean take out your eye and make it look around or something like that. What it means is you have to watch carefully. You're kind of watching in case something shows up. So you're keeping part of your attention on the trail in front of you. It doesn't mean you will see a snake, but you could see a snake. So you have to keep that in mind and keep an eye out for them. Just one eye, not both eyes.
Yeah, that's just part of the phrase. Of course, you should definitely look with both eyes. So what else can we say about the snakes in Taiwan? Well, snakes in Taiwan are many and varied, but there are some common do's and don'ts to remember. So yeah, there are many kinds of snakes. Some of them are dangerous, some not. Some can bite, others like to squeeze the things they eat. So that's what we mean by saying they are many and varied. Varied means there are many different sorts, many types. They come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. And this kind of phrase often is used, many and varied, to mean there are a great deal of different types. There's a big variety. There's another related word. Here's another way we can use it. This bakery offers a varied selection of breads, cakes, and cookies. So that means there are lots of different types of bread, cakes, and cookies in the bakery, not just one or two, but loads of different ones.
So we said that we're going to look at some do's and don'ts for when you are around snakes, or how to, kind of be careful of snakes in Taiwan, because like you said, some of them are dangerous. So the article says, do pay attention to your surroundings. This is kind of the same thing as keeping an eye out. Pay attention to your surroundings. Your surroundings are the area around you, all of the things that you can see that are close to you. So if you're out in nature, your surroundings will probably be things like trees and bushes and flowers and various things that live there.
And there are certain places you want to look at more carefully than others. The article says snakes hide in long grass and under piles of wood. So if you're walking through long grass, or if you're kind of going through a forest or something and there's a big pile of wood on the floor, that could have a snake in it. Now, a pile it's basically a shape. It's not a very organized shape. It's just more like a lump, things on top of the other in a not very organized way. Sometimes you can pile up stuff, you just kind of drop it all in one place. Sometimes nature will sort of pile it up for you through like wind blowing sand into a pile against a wall or a tree or something like that. So here's a sentence we can use. There was a pile of dirty clothes on the floor of the boys' room. Yeah, that's basically me and my brothers growing up.
Okay, yeah, that was probably me growing up too. I think I had what my parents called a clothes mountain in my bedroom. So when you are looking for snakes under these piles of wood or in tall grass, the article says use a walking stick to check places like these before you step there. And so, yeah, you can use a stick, which is well, I'll explain it in a minute, but kind of use it to poke the wood or like swish through the grass, something like that, so that you can tell if a snake is there before you step there, because you don't want your leg to find it and then the snake to bite your leg. So use a stick. A stick is a long, thin piece of usually wood, but it can also be metal or plastic. And in this case, it's a walking stick. It's used to help you walk, especially on hard walks like hikes, or when you're going around a mountain, or if you have a problem with one of your legs that makes it hard for you to walk straight, you might use a kind of a stick called a cane. But a stick is usually a long piece of wood, usually from a tree, and it's very helpful when you're out in nature. You can use it to poke in different places and look for a lot of different things, and as a tool. Yeah. So a stick could be used for this example sentence. I pushed the spider out of my house using a long stick. Yeah, because you don't want to touch it.
I really don't want to touch it.
I'll use a glass and a paper usually, but
that method. Yeah, I don't like to see the spider pressing up against the glass, glaring at me with millions of angry eyes.
Usually I see them wanting to run away, be like, oh no, I'm trapped. Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for them.
Well, that's not something I share. But anyway, let's get back to talking about snakes, which I don't mind so much. So yeah, poke around with a stick so that you don't get bitten. And here's another tip. Also, the article says, wear the right clothes. So there's something to be said for dressing properly when you're going for a hike for all sorts of reasons, and snakes is one of them.
Yeah, for sure. So the article says a good pair of boots and tough hiking pants will protect you if you surprise a snake and it tries to bite. So yeah, you definitely want some good boots. You might want to wear long pants if you're going to an area that you know has some snakes in it, or some bugs that might like to bite your skin, but especially snakes. So we have this word boots, and boots are a kind of shoe. They're a kind of shoe that's usually made out of either leather, which is a cow skin, or rubber, which is very tough. And it covers your entire foot, and sometimes it covers part of your leg too. It could go anywhere from your ankle up to your thigh, which is the top part of your leg. So yeah, boots are used for a lot of different things. You use boots for work, those work boots. You might, when it's raining, you put on rain boots so that your feet don't get wet. Or you might wear hiking boots when you're going hiking, and those will help you to step very well and protect you from things like snakes. So an example sentence for boots could be, before going out in the snow, Jessica put on her warm snow boots. That's another kind of boot.
And these boots and the pants you wear should be tough. If something is tough, it is pretty strong. It is not easily damaged by things. You can kind of rub it. It can take a bit of punishment, a bit of wear and tear. It's not going to fall apart the minute you put it on and rub it against something or wash it a couple of times, that kind of thing. We're talking strong. We could also say sturdy or even durable materials, the things that last a long time. For example, we could say, this tent is made of tough material, so it's great for camping in all kinds of weather. So this sort of tent, it wouldn't get too wet in rain. It wouldn't let the water through. It wouldn't get blown over and damaged. If some tree bits fell on it, it wouldn't tear apart. It's pretty tough stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to wear something tough because you don't want the snake's teeth to go through it and bite you, because the snake could poison you and make you very sick or even die if it's that strong kind of poison. And, you don't know what kind of snake it is. So the article says, don't get too close. That's why you use a stick. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Snakes don't often go out of their way to attack people, but if you surprise a snake, then its reaction will be to bite. If you get too close to their babies, if it's a mother snake, they will bite and try and get you away, that kind of thing. Which is why we follow up that point with, if you encounter a snake, keep your distance. So the word encounter pretty much means the same as meet. But one important difference is, to meet someone, it could be planned. It could be an accident. You'll have to pay attention to the context. But if you encounter something, it's almost always not planned. It just kind of happens. You don't mean to get that thing. You don't mean to run into that person. But there you go. You've met them. So if you encounter a snake, you're not trying to find the snakes, but there you are. There the snake is. Now you kind of have to deal with it. And the best way to do that is to keep your distance.
Yeah, exactly. So keeping your distance is kind of the same thing as staying away. It means you don't get too close to it. And keep your distance usually means the thing that we're talking about is dangerous, or it could hurt you. You can also use it in a figurative way. Like if you're saying to somebody, oh, that's a bad person, you should keep your distance from them. It means like, don't become their close friend and don't let them influence you a lot. That's keep your distance.
So why is it important to keep your distance, and what can this mean? Well, the article says snakes, can sense vibrations through the ground and will often move away when they feel someone coming. So here we have this word sense, and to sense something means to receive information from somewhere around you using one of your sense organs, like your mouth can taste things, your nose can smell things, your ears hear things. You sense it, you become aware of this information from outside, your brain will then figure out what it means to you. Here's an example. Dogs can't see colors, but they can sense different smells better than humans can. So yeah, dogs don't get the same kind of visual information. They don't sense when things are super different like we can with our eyes, but their sense of smell, because sense can be a noun as well, is better than ours is. And here we're talking about snakes sensing vibrations.
Right. So vibrations we can sense them too, but I think snakes can sense them better. So vibrations are a series of small, fast movements, usually back and forth or side to side or up and down. It's basically a shaking motion, and it can happen anywhere and to anything. So anytime something hits something else, or making a sound. So sounds are vibrations that go through the air and into your ear, and you hear them. But if you have an earthquake, those are big vibrations that people might feel from the earth. Snakes can feel them through the ground too, and they can also feel things through the ground that we don't really notice or we can't feel by ourselves. So yeah, that's something that snakes can sense really well is those vibrations going through the ground. And yeah.
Yeah, when we put our feet on the ground, if you were standing next to me, I wouldn't notice it unless we were on, like a sort of very moving platform. But a snake feels it, all these footsteps approaching, goes, uh-oh, something big, something heavy is coming. I'm going to get out of the way because this thing could be a threat. It's not something I want around me. So the article says you can encourage them to do this, to move away, by stamping your feet. So to encourage means to make something a bit more likely to happen. So if you kind of see a snake and it's a little way away, maybe lying on the path you want to hike on, if you bang your feet up and down, stamp a bit, then the snake should go, oh, I don't like this. I'm out of here.
Right. So if you want to stamp your feet, or stomp your feet is another word that's very similar, it means to hit the ground really hard with your feet. You step very hard. That's a stomp. Maybe when you're a little kid and you're mad, you might stomp your feet, be like, Mom, I want to get ice cream. Bah, So yeah, if you can stomp your feet to do that. Also, if the snake doesn't move, the article says, stay clear as you move around it. So, yeah, you should stay clear.
Yeah, stay clear is like that phrase, keep your distance, don't get too close. Put some physical space between you and that thing. And just like the other phrase Kat mentioned, this one can be figurative as well as literal. You could keep or stay clear of a person just by not really getting involved with them, not talking to them, not really getting close to them and their thoughts and feelings. But here we just mean don't get physically close to the snake.
Yeah, exactly. So stay clear in a snake's case would mean don't get close enough that it could jump out and bite you. So stay well clear. Yeah, a few meters away maybe. Yeah. So the article ends up today by saying, most of all, be careful. So I think these are all different ways of being careful, but just overall, be careful, right? So most of all is this phrase that means the most important thing that you should remember. Most of all, do this. So remember this thing first. Be careful.
Yeah, don't go picking the snake up and going, oh, look at this. It's a snake. How cool.
No.
That's likely to end in tears for everyone.
You're not a herpetologist. You're not a reptile studier. You're not a snake studier. So don't do that.
Okay, well, that is the end of the first part of the article. We've got some more on some of the different snakes you'll see in Taiwan tomorrow. But right now, we're going to go to today's For You chat question.
For You chat.
All right, so our chat question is, are you afraid of snakes? Why or why not?
I'm going to say overall, no. But I have a healthy level of respect and fear for snakes that could hurt me. Let's say that. But yeah, if I encounter a snake that is dangerous, or if I don't know it's dangerous, I will be smart and stay away from it. If it's somebody's pet snake, I will be very happy to hold it. I know people with pet snakes. I love to hold them. They can actually be very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend when I was at, elementary school, primary school, we call it in the UK. He had a garter snake, which is 6 or 7 inches, tiny,
They're like
thin
just little
thing.
garden snakes, right?
Yeah. I've also had a big python on my shoulder. We used to have a guy with animals who came into the school, lizards or owls or, weird kind of stuff like that for all the kids to kind of go, whoa. And if you wanted to kind of hold it then and see how it felt. So, yeah, that was an interesting one.
That's cool. I remember in Malaysia, my friend and I visited a snake temple, and they had this probably 5 to 8 meter long not anaconda, like a very, very long boa constrictor that you were supposed to pet her from head to tail for good luck, because she was white and yellow, very beautiful, and she was just so lazy.
Take you a while.
Yeah, it took a good minute. Yeah, but it's really cool when you can interact with snakes that are peaceful and that are used to people. Yeah, they're actually quite nice.
Yes, I'm the same with you. I'm not the kind of person who would go, snake, get it away, but I'm not going to do anything stupid either because I'm aware of what the snakes can do back if I make them angry or upset.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is the end of our article today, but join us again for tomorrow for more on Taiwan snakes. We'll see you then.
Right.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Varied. I'm trying to eat a more varied diet. I don't think I should eat the same things every day. Pile. My pet rat loves to store food. It keeps piles of seeds in the corner of its cage. Stick. My grandfather is getting old, so he needs a stick to help him walk. Boot. I wear my boots when I walk in the snow so my feet don't get wet. Tough. This phone case is made of a tough, thick material, so it protects your phone and won't break easily. Sense. The mouse sensed danger, so it ran under the rocks.
智慧小补帖
Surroundings. Encounter. Vibration.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net